2026, February 14th. This is the Puppy Pet Prep webinar. Hi, guys. Please be camera on if you can. Hi, Erin. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to meet you.
It's been a while since I've used Zoom, so I have to remember where the unmute button was.
The folks, we're going to start out with about 5 minutes of just meeting one another and talking. So please remind me of your name. So Webb, please tell me your first name.
David and Larissa.
David and Larissa or Marissa?
Larissa.
Larissa. Like Cadu and Larissa.
That's it.
Look them up if you don't know who they are. Yeah, especially on Valentine's Day. All right. And Ryan Schwartz, and which is Ryan?
I'm Ryan, and that's Trevor, my dad.
Hi, Trevor. Nice to have you here.
Well, thank you.
We have a small group here. We kind of needed to dive in because your puppies are getting older every day.
Mhm.
And so we made that the priority rather than amping the group size up, which normally takes more time. So I would like to see a show of hands of which people have been nipped by their puppies. Yeah.
Not really. Grabbing maybe, but not nipped.
Okay, grabbing. When I first, folks, we're not going to record that I'm recording it, but we're not going to make this available.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you. But there will be probably more material, as in Chris really wants you guys to do this. And I think he's right on. And you guys may, like, what's the big deal? But you're going to find out. So we'll probably end up doing it again. And you guys could come back because I've been teaching professional trainers forever. And you only get a small percentage of what you listen to the first time. So what we're going to do today is talk about tools and strategy and how to use them and why to use them. Very good. And we're not going to try to teach you exactly how to apply them because it really isn't realistic in this amount of time. But that doesn't matter because you learn in layers, and the information you get today, if you go and apply it immediately, then you're going to get breakthroughs. Now, let me warn you, I have some outstanding trainers that I work with. Trainers like Chris. And Chris didn't do this, but a lot of the other trainers have said, Kayce, don't start with name and explain because people will think you're crazy. Really? When you saw me, one of these people saw me for the first time in England, and the very first seminar I did had 263 people attending. And we started working with dogs that were unhomable right in front of the audience. And that's where this trainer decided that maybe I was crazy. But she signed up immediately to get certified. And I asked her, if you thought I was crazy, why would you sign up for certification? Because I needed some of that crazy. Guys, it's only crazy when you don't understand it. I am trained as a biologist. My father was a nuclear physicist. We're not goofing around here, but I'm going to tell you things you're not going to hear anywhere else, and it's going to make your life easier. Now, before I tell you my story, I would like each one of you, welcome, Athena.
Hi,
Good
Kayce.
to see you. Like each of you to tell me what is your major issue, problem, frustration, concern at this moment. So, Athena, let's start with you.
Okay. My concern is she's actually jumping on us. And
No.
she's like she's still a teenager, so she's jumping and like still keep biting our hands, even though like I turn my back on her and don't say anything. She also took a lot of energy, so when she comes inside the house, she just runs around the house.
Did
And
she
also,
careen into you and possibly break your legs?
no, no,
Oh, that's what mine did.
no. And also, like I just took her for a walk before, but she's like really pulling on the lead with so much.
Okay.
And just like smelling everything. And I just wanted to get out and have a bit of interaction. But I wanted to walk nice on the lead, not like
Got
pulling
it.
and
Okay. But we're going to take the main one is really high energy and running around, right? Or nipping.
the nipping and the pulling on the lead too. Yeah.
Okay. Ryan and Trevor, what is it for you?
I think maybe the main thing would be same as Athena, just the biting and constantly jumping on you. Like if he's jumping or biting me, I try not to give him any attention. Like don't touch him, or
Got
if you just ignore him as much as
it.
I can.
Okay. Okay. And Larissa, and remind me again.
David.
Say it again.
David.
I'm sorry, I'm not. David,
David. Yeah. Yeah.
are you New Zealand?
No.
Okay.
Australia.
Okay. So,
Our biggest thing would be I really want her to focus on me, like in any environment. I
okay.
think that's the big thing without distraction because she's really good for about 10 seconds. And then if somebody walks past, they're more exciting than me and they want to lunge at them and, they growl and carry on at anything at the moment. So, yeah.
And Larissa, what about you? Is it the same for you or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And Aaron?
I'm a bit different. I'm good friends with Chris. I've been training dogs for, I don't know, 10 years or so. But I've used Chris's male a couple of times for breeding myself. So we breed our own dogs. We've currently got a litter on the ground at the minute. They're 7 weeks old. We love them biting. We love them doing all the fun stuff. When we hand them over to our owners, we sort of encourage that behaviour with them and manage that behaviour. So yeah, for me, it's just I want to learn about yourself and move forward, I guess.
Outstanding. Okay. So, with your permission, I'll tell you my story or part of it, because I'm not a dog trainer. When I was 9 years old, I decided I had to be a dolphin trainer. And I didn't find out until I became a dolphin trainer that the odds against it were 500,000 to 1. But that wasn't my concern. My concern was how to be the best dolphin trainer I could. And there were two things that were big challenges. And the first one is actually the most important one. And that was that dolphins and other exotic animals, no matter how fierce, huge, dangerous they are emotionally fragile. And they can drop dead on the spot if they get upset. you can understand that I didn't want to be a part of that. So immediately, as soon as I started working with exotics, I started working to develop techniques to empower the animals to protect themselves, to learn how to cope with stress and manage their emotions. Now, that is not a very sexy topic. You can imagine, I loved doing the shows. Having these dolphins flying through the air, everybody screaming, the audience would stand up and applaud. Sometimes they laughed so hard. One time the president came from the other end of the area to find out what the heck was going on. But I can't do that and ignore this other aspect of things. Now, here is the second big thing that confronted me. I couldn't put a leash on an animal. I'm sitting there feeling sorry for myself because I can't even put a rope on a dolphin to make them stay there and listen to what I want to tell them, what I need to tell them. So, spoiler alert, can you imagine how amazed I was when I found out that by taking my hands off of the animals, I could train faster and better than I ever had before. And before I became a dolphin trainer, I used to show dogs for conformation, obedience, hunting, Irish setters. That still just blows me away. Now we're going to go fast forward till the early 2000s, and I certified a lot of the staff. Certification is curriculum that somebody goes through and proves proficiency, and then I give them a certification. And so Wood Green Animal Shelter is a very progressive shelter in the UK. And I certified a bunch of their staff. And then I came back to the US. And it turns out Wood Green had come to the conclusion that they needed to euthanize 29 animals because they'd been in the shelter system for up to 3 years. And they couldn't ethically put them in homes. They had diverse problems. Quite a few were aggression. Like a goat. I'm not sure you could call it aggression, but he wanted to ram people. And there was a bull terrier that was a tail chaser. So, emboldened by what she had learned, one of their trainers, Annette Harwood, actually the whole group of them, I guess, they went to the powers that be, and Wood Green agreed to give these 29 animals a 2-week reprieve. Now, they'd already been through all of the systems that they had to try to, help these animals be ready for new homes. So this was after they decided that nothing could be done. 2 weeks, and at Wood Green, that was approximately 15 hours of training time. 27 of the animals corrected their problems, learned basic on and off lead obedience within the first 2 weeks, within the 15 hours of training time. They were then put up for adoption, and every single one was adopted within 1 week. This isn't my work. I was back at home in the United States. This was what they were able to do after just learning how to use this technique. Now, that still left 2 animals, a tail-chasing bull terrier and a horse that was so mean that none of the people that had tried to help her wanted to have anything to do with trying to help her now. She just burned all her bridges. But these two animals made such progress that Wood Green gave them an additional 2 weeks. Both animals completed resolving their issues, completed their training, got adopted into new homes. After 2 years, I'm asking, how are these animals doing? Not a single animal got returned. Not one. So I said, we have to call these owners because other things could have happened, right? The animals could have died. They could have given them to somebody else. We called all the owners. Every single animal was still successfully in its new home. I talked to the horse owners a couple of years ago. Their horse was still going strong after 15 years. And right after they took this horse home, because remember, with a horse, not only did she have to do her basic obedience, but you had to be able to trim her feet, and they had to be able to groom her, and they had to be able to transport her. So the new owners literally told this horse that if she maintained her good behavior, they would never sell her. Well, who'd want to buy her anyway, right? Except she was one of those rare heritage horses. She's a Dale pony. So 2 weeks after they adopted her, the new owners took her to a Dale pony show. And this Dale pony got off they call it a float. I don't know what you guys call it, but anyway, a horse trailer. And then got on and off horse trailers for a good part of the day, helping the other Dale ponies get on and off their horse trailers. And all of a sudden, these people had to be good to their promise because they got offers people wanted to buy this Dale pony because she was the rarest of the rare. She not only was a Dale pony, but she was a nice Dale pony. They have a reputation for having attitudes. So what did Wood Green do to help these new owners with these really difficult dogs that could never figure out how to be successful with people? Nothing. They didn't tell the people about the problems. They didn't tell the people what we did about the problems. They didn't tell the people what they could do about the problems. Please take just a moment to let that soak in. What does that say? Who's driving the bus? Are the
dog.
owners? Go ahead.
The dog's driving the bus by the sound of it.
Exactly.
We changed the dog's behaviors.
We actually don't do anything. The dogs are doing the whole thing. Now, we don't even bother to train the owners. Now, you guys are different because Chris arranged all this for you. And we want to arm you so that you can do this for your puppies and every puppy you have from this point out, because it's actually very simple. Were you trying to say something, Aaron? Oh, okay. So, any questions or comments so far?
Okay. I think the owners need a bit of education as well too. That's why we're here.
Well, I wouldn't have done it the way Wood Green did. I would have done what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm, in a way, very thankful that Wood Green did do that. Because, first of all, who has a program for dogs that are untrainable where you train, in this case, 100%? 100% success with 30 animals. well, 29, but Wood Green went out. You remember the goat? Goats are herd animals, and they didn't think it was ethical to put a goat in a home by itself. So they went to the auction and bought a second goat, which they also trained so they could send them into the new home together. So 30 animals got a reprieve from this 2 weeks of training. So we do it differently. We would do what we're doing here. Does this story encourage you? Does it make it? I mean, if we could do that for those dogs, these smart young puppies you have, it's probably going to be a lot better. So now let's talk about the material we have. We have 3 tools. I promised you 3 tools. And the first one, well, I'll tell you what they all are, and then we'll spend a little bit of time with each one. The first one is name and explain. Do you guys, does anybody here have kids? Well, Trevor, you have a kid. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So,
yeah, I've got a young boy who's a budding dog trainer. He's about to join the chat. So,
oh, good, great. Okay, so did you think it would be best to raise your kid without speaking to them? Have you been told not to talk to your dog? Oh, you haven't? Well, you guys may be more progressive. Here in America, these people are told constantly, don't talk to your dog. It only confuses them. I'm going to tell you, it is the fastest way to train. We call it name and explain. One of our trainers, Sylvia, is in Poland, and she talked to her dog. Oh, she's outstanding. And she's one of the ones that thought I was crazy. And she thought I was crazy because I said to talk to the dogs. And she said later on that she already did talk to her dogs. But she says, oh, how are you today? Are you feeling good? You're such a good girl. La, 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 la. But here's what we do. So before I take my dog out of the kennel, okay, I'm going to take you out of the kennel. You need to wait. I'll put your leash on. Then you're going to come out, turn around, and we're going to walk out the front door. You'll wait for me at the front door, and then we'll go out together. Are you ready? And then I'll proceed to go through that entire thing. Now, as I go through it, I will name it again because she's just learning. When I tell my dog we're going to go through the front door, if anything, she's going, what's a front door? But she learns as she goes. When I was in Australia, I was under the mistaken impression that you guys spoke English. Well, you do speak English. I thought I did. Anyway, I learned a lot of, I forget what you guys call it, but yank versus tank and
slang, rhyming slang.
Roaming slang?
Rhyming
slang. And also, people speak differently all over Australia. I had to learn, but I learned as I went. And when I went to the Netherlands, I go into the grocery store, it's like a 3-dimensional dictionary because everything's labeled in multiple languages. So I can learn the language. And this is how the dogs learn a lot of the language, but we can do an even better job. But for example, anybody here have a dog who understands what walk means? Your dogs don't understand the word walk?
Yeah,
Oh,
mine
yeah.
doesn't. Yeah.
Like we're going to go for a walk? How about
Yeah.
get in the car?
Yeah.
Did you show them the dictionary definition?
No.
No.
How did they ever figure it out?
Repetition.
They're studying their life. They're trying to, it's like, oh boy, I've got this nice person here, but I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out what they're doing. And they figure it out no problem. To the extent that one of the things you can do to make your life better with the animals overall is randomize your habits. Don't pick up your car keys just because you're going to go get in the car. You should take your car keys for a walk at least once a day and do something random with them that you don't forget, right? Which would be okay later, because later on you teach your dog to find your keys for you and then there's no problem. But you don't want to just pick up your keys every time you're going to go to the car, because your dog will then get really excited every time you touch your keys. You just don't need to have that habit. Every time you bend down to tie your shoes on, the dog's okay. So here are the rules of engagement for talking to your animals. And one is you want to be clean and clear. You don't say cutesy things. You tell them exactly what you would want to know if you were in a foreign country and you had a guide. Does that make sense? Okay, I think I figured out finally why all these trainers tell people not to talk to their dogs. And that is, you don't want to talk to your dogs with the wrong timing. So I talk to animals all the time, but hey, welcome. When I'm in front of an animal that I'm working with, I will be very quiet and watch them. And when I get that instant of quiet alertness, I will start the conversation. And I will say, depending on where they are in their training, the one thing I need them to know. And I don't do this. Oh, what's that thing on your head? Here, let me just look at that. Okay. Oh, you're such a good girl. La, 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 la. No, it's business time. I am teaching them what's going on in the world so that they can understand it and cooperate. You're going to be amazed at the difference this makes. You can label everything in the animal's whole environment. And that gives you a place to start when you have to train the animal to do something about it or get them to relate things together. For example, let's say you took your dog to the vet's and the dog got a vaccine. And let's say the vet asks you to come back and give a blood sample. If we named the vets, the needle, the prick in the skin, the location of the prick, and the vaccine, we can then say to the dog, we're going to go back to the vets. It will be like when you got your vaccine, but it will take longer. It's going to come from probably your left leg right here. And you're going to have to be easy for the count of 10 instead of 2. Are you ready? Let's go. Astonishingly, many times the animals will act as if they're completely trained just with that much information. I'll give you a couple of tangible examples. I was working with the staff of a zoo here in the US. And they asked me to help introduce a horse to syringes so that it could get vaccines. So I go in, I talk to this horse. It is literally this fast. Here's the target. Here's the needle. Do you want to look at it? This is what I'm going to do with it. Ow, that hurts. That's prick. Ow. Can I prick your neck? This is your neck right here. Can I prick your neck? Then I pinch him. I go, ow, is that okay? Are you okay? Can I pinch you again? And this is very important. Can I pinch you? You must ask permission. I pinch her again. Then I say to her, may I go ahead and prick your neck with a syringe? And the horse puts her head down. We call that the permission position. And you'll learn about this tool also. Exit 666 is I take the needle in there, prick the horse's neck. It looks like a total non-event. I'm thinking these zoo people are going to be asleep. I turn around and they're all like this. And I said, how was that? And they said, that's pretty good considering last time she came over the stall divider and had the vet up against the wall. Now, the people I work with sometimes don't tell me things. I'm not advertising that I'm a psychic. You should tell me if your horse is known for trying to kill people that try to give it an injection. But it doesn't matter because 90% of the time, I never see the problem that I come to fix. I don't see the problem. And I think the reason is I don't cause the problem. So I am going to tell the animal what I need to do. I won't distract them. I won't take anything that I didn't ask for. So when I say that, if I want to collect blood from an animal, I don't say I'm going to give you a vaccine and the needle will go in and it'll come back out. Are you ready? Ding, ding, that's a vaccine. I don't then take a needle and stick it in and try to collect blood, which takes longer. And maybe I have to push the needle around like so, and it might hurt more. I do exactly what I ask for. And that is extremely compelling. I was at another zoo in Canada this time, and the people at the zoo said, we hope this man isn't going to be a big problem, but he wanted to come, and he's sitting right at the front of your class. I said, okay. And I said, what brings you to this class? And he goes, I want to see how you get the animals to let you stick needles in them. And I said to him, can I demonstrate with you? Yeah. So I asked him to put his hand out, and I put my arm out, and I asked him just to relax his hand, and I'll show you what we do to help them get relaxed. And then I said exactly what I told you. Can I prick your skin? And I had showed him exactly like I told you. And this time, instead of using a needle, I told him I was just going to pinch his skin. So I pinned it like that. I knew it had to hurt because I'm using my nails, for goodness sakes. And he goes like this. And I said, are you okay? And he goes, yes. And I said, could I do it again, please? I need to do it worse. And he goes, yeah, okay. And so this time I kind of cranked it. And he goes, ah. And then he, kind of gets good again. And then I said, all right, can I do it one more time? And it's going to be twice as bad. Is that okay? And he said, yes. And I said, why? Why is it okay? What causes you to allow me to do this to you? And he looked really surprised and he said, because you asked my permission. If you keep integrity with your animal, they will cooperate with you even when it is painful. And the keeping integrity is really important. We had a gray seal that her eye had an infection, and they were afraid that the infection would go up the optic nerve into the brain and kill her. So they wanted to put a big bolus of penicillin right behind her eyeball. Have you guys had penicillin injections? Painful, very painful. We didn't know if she had pain reception there. And I taught her to allow us to give her injections. But how many times do you think I ever gave her an injection behind the eyeball? 0. So the vets start out by telling me to strap her down to a body board. And so we did all that. And she didn't even want to eat. She didn't want to go in the water. She was so sick. She's just up on her little toenail like this. And just when I got her all strapped down, she still had full range of motion from side to side with her head. And the vets go, oh my God, that's not safe. We can't do that. Or the infection's going to go up into her brain and kill her. And I said, what about if I take her out and put her on her seat, which is kind of wedge shaped, and I'll put my arms on either side of her. And they go, yeah, that'd be okay. That'd be okay, because who would get it if the animal bit, right? It's okay with them if I got it. And so I told Lila, we're going to have to give you an injection right here. And when I touched her eye, she squeezed her eyes down and mucus and pus squirted all over the front of my shirt and my arms. And I told her, tell me when you're ready, and gray seals will blow off air. And she goes, that's to lower their heart rate and everything. And she assumed the permission position. And I put my hands into place and I told the vets, go. And they came right in and they gave her the injection where I told her that it would be. And Lila lived. Lila lived just because we could explain things. And I didn't even think that Lila and I had any relationship. Lila didn't really, she wasn't really close with me or anyone else. But she knew that I would tell her the truth. And she allowed me to help her, even though it couldn't have felt like help at the time, right? So that integrity is really important. So let's get back to how to apply this. It does not take any kind of training skill. It takes mindfulness. You need to tell the animal what you want to do before you do it. Now, later on, if you're going to go into, something like obedience where you can't talk to the dog in the ring, you can, the dog will learn the whole routine and you can get rid of the explanation. But while you're teaching, the dog needs to understand what you're doing. So you're going to explain everything. Every moment is a teachable moment. You can talk about what cars are going by, what animals you're seeing, who's coming, what room you're in. And in the Talk to Me, has anybody actually read any of the Talk to Me manual? Okay, one of the exercises in there is you take your animal through the various rooms and you name them. And then one day, you just spontaneously put the dog's dinner in a weird place in one of the rooms that you've named. So for me, I put the dog's dinner in the bathtub. And when he came in to eat, I said, I put your dinner in the bathroom. And he goes, really? and trots off to the bathroom, finds the dinner, jumps into the bathtub, and eats his dinner. You do that because it proves to you that they understand. You don't just repeat things, you look for the proof that they understand. Now, that brings us to another really important thing. Teach opposite things together. So you're walking down the road and you say, we're going to go left. And you start to turn left. Good, that is left. You walk down the road. Now we're going to turn right. You turn right together. You go back and forth. Do you see why this is important to do it this way? If you only turn left and you turn left 100 times, does your dog really know what left means? What could it mean besides a direction? It could mean we're walking. It could mean we're turning. It could mean we're seeing traffic. You have to figure out how to isolate the two ideas. So left versus right, the only thing that's different, we're doing the same behavior, but in two different directions. Now, this isn't part of tonight's thing, but I'll show you anyway. When I'm going to teach an animal directions, I actually don't even do it with I'm walking at first. I just place my hands on the animal's face and I say, I don't know what it looks like for you guys, but this is my left side and this is my right side. You see what I'm doing? We call it touchback, but don't worry about that. That's to learn another time. So right, good. Left, good. Can I have your right side? Okay, so it's going to be good. Left side, good. You just start right there and you're looking. Do you see how I don't even leave contact with the skin? I'm just in direct contact. And when I feel that animal just put a little more pressure there, yes. Because they're showing they understand the idea of the direction, but they're not confident about it yet. If you go, can you show me right? The animal will give up right there. You got to keep it really close while the animal is first learning. Now, what's another thing like that you could teach your dog that could be very useful? Well, Athena led us right into it. Athena, you have a dog that jumps, right?
Yeah, she jumps. Even like with the phone. Yep.
So you want to name that. Don't even tell her no. That's jump, that's high, whatever you want to call it. Then get her down on the ground, just like, yay, come on, get down on the ground kind of thing. That's down, that's low. Can you get high? Can you get low? Okay. And all you have to do is use the next tool to make this clear to your dog. And the next tool is called an intermediate bridge. Now, the intermediate bridge also has some things to remember about it. First of all, in training, rhythm is president. We don't do kings here. We're trying not to do kings here. Timing is everything. And the intermediate bridge is a signal that tells the animal that at this instant, you are headed for success. So, sorry to use the lingo on you. We also call them support and success signals, but sometimes I forget to switch. So a bridge is a signal that tells the animal that you did it right. That's a terminal bridge. And an intermediate bridge tells them you're on the path. You're almost there, but you haven't done it yet. And that got developed when people started working with dolphins in the open ocean, because the dolphin would do exactly what you wanted to, but you couldn't just hand them a fish. So we had to bridge the gap between the instant that the animal did what we asked and the instant we could give them a reinforcer. So that's where the term bridge came from. So we tell the animal when he's done it right, but this tool is, again, so easy. It doesn't take any skill, but it takes your mindfulness. You have to be there to give it to the animal as he's learning. It sounds like this. Good, 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 good. Okay? Now, a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to look strange. I remember I was told in the UK that nobody wanted to use the bridge because they didn't want people to think they were strange. The people that brought us Monty Python are worried about looking strange. But when we actually started working together and they saw what happened when they started bridging their animal, they forgot about looking strange. A bridge, that speed that I gave you, is a really strategic rhythm, which I didn't know at the time. And if we do any other work together, I hope I get a chance to tell you the rest of the story because it's amazing. But that is the rhythm of the Schumann resonance. That's the Earth's oscillation of the molten magnetic core, and we all evolved with it. And it turns out that even if we don't even teach the dogs what that signal means, they just are attracted to it. It is attractive like food is attractive. We call it an innate reinforcer. Okay? You don't have to remember all that. Here's what you need to remember. Whatever you ask the dog to do, here, good, 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 good. Like if we call them to a target. Do you guys use targets or not? Okay, I don't mean to make it more cryptic. When we call an animal, we'll present a contact point like this. We call that a target. And we're not going to learn all about that tonight, but the animal quickly learns to come to this target. And as he's coming, good, 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 good. Okay? And then the animal will come off the target. So that's the intermediate bridge. Now, if you're trying to get your animal to stop jumping on you, right now, 2 of you have used trying to ignore the animals or turn away from them. That doesn't work, does it?
No.
No, it doesn't work. But here's what will work. You ask your animal while they're in the crate still, can you be easy? And the instant they get quiet, and I don't care if you have to wait till they fall asleep, although I will give you another way to create the easy. You just tell them, that's easy. So there's your name and explain. That's easy. That's a good dog. That's a good, easy dog. That's for 1. Can you do it for 2? 1, 2. You ready? Get easy. 1, 2. X. Can you get easy? The next one is going to be 4. We double each trial pretty much. So can you go easy for 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. You ready? Easy. Good, 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 good. Can you get easy for 8? Ready? Good, 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 good. Ready? Easy. Good, 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 good. Excellent. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm just expanding the amount of time that the animal will be and can be easy. I know it seems tedious, but consider the first time, the first trial, they'll be easy for 1 instant, not even a second, 1 instant. And remember I told you that the intermediate bridge, good, 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 that's approximately 8 beats a second. So now you do the easy for 2 instants. Then you double it to 4 instants. That's half a second. You go from an instant to a quarter of a second to a half of a second. The next one is going to be 8. That's an entire second. The next one's going to be 16. That's 2 seconds. The next one's going to be 32. That's 4 seconds. Did I get that straight? Anyway, you get the drift. We're going to get up to a minute in, I think it's like 6 trials. You need to be methodical and patient. Now, what happens when the dog kind of explodes out of it because they're asking you a question? What if I don't do it for a second? Then, while you're in your crate, I don't open the door and I walk away. That will work. Turning your back on your puppy doesn't work because he can still jump up on you and do any other thing he wants to. Do you guys keep your puppies in crates when you're not directly working with them? And you do? What's your name, by the way?
Xavier.
Xavier, nice to meet you. I'm Kayce. So if you keep them in their crates when you're not directly working with them, you prevent a lot of heartache. But of course, you want to work with them a lot and have them out a lot as well. But you can do really short sessions and keep expanding their ability to be quiet for longer or to wait for longer. Now, there's more that goes into it because we have to add things like they can wait or be calm even when we're moving, et cetera, et cetera. But if you just start with naming and explaining everything and using the bridge to tell them when they're doing it well, you're going to make good progress, dramatic progress. Okay, so then the last thing is the how to relax the animal. And we use body work. And here's the critical thing about the body work. They learn to love it, but the idea is not for you to take on a new career as a masseuse for dogs. The idea is to allow the dog to see. So if you take your own arm right now and make it tense, okay? So can we agree I'm probably about like a pit bull if I were a dog? Okay? But if you do this, Xavier, you want to try it? Make your arm, make a fist. Clench it. Come on, you got to make it hard. Yeah. Okay, now sit there and massage your own arm really deep and slow. And what happens? You need to get into it more. Look at me. There you go. Look what happens. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the dog, your arm is tense. Can you get it easy? Good, 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 good. There you go. That's easy. And then a cat goes by and the dog goes, that's alert. Can you get it easy? Good, good, good. That is a good, easy dog. Can you stay easy? The cat is coming. Good. You stayed easy for an instant. Can you stay easy for 2 instants? Good, 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 good. Whew. Okay. It's a lot of work. It really is. But you feel like you could do that.
Are we?
Go ahead.
So I was going to ask, are we doing this on the dog's back or on the legs?
You are doing it. I would recommend starting around the scruff.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see what time it is because I can't see like I used to, and I don't know. Okay, 9:25 my time. Okay. 8:25. Okay. We still have a few minutes. So I'm going to try to show you a couple of videos. I didn't line up the videos of the body work but I will send you an email with links that show what it looks like. So we have 4 touches. We have the scruff pull, where you just pull. It's kind of like if it were your hair, you pull 1, 2, 3. Okay, up to about the count of 8. And you know how when a mom picks up a pup by the scruff, it just kind of goes like this? That it helps them relax, and it helps cats too. Even sea lions pick up their babies like that, and they'll jump up onto islands with them. So it's very effective. Then we have piano massage, which is this. Now, here's the thing, not this, not this, this, the flats of your fingers. And the most common mistake people make is they're going like this. You got to slow everything down and go really deep. The third one is called banding, and it's like this. Now, if you do it to yourself right now, and you just do your hands, this is particularly great for hands and feet, but it also can be used on the animal's entire body. It will help them calm down. Temple Grandin noticed, and this is true, that animals that go into squeeze cages end up getting really relaxed. She made herself a squeeze cage, which she used after she came home from school because she was overstimulated. So if you've got an animal that tends to get overstimulated, sometimes you just need to hold on to them until they relax. You kind of just breathe in and out with them. Now, the last thing, I'll tell you about it tonight, but I don't want you to try to pursue it yet. It is combining this motion with this motion. And it looks like this. And it's called the agitator motion. And we do it on their ribs. And I can drop a dog in 30 seconds. Usually, almost always. By the way, in seminars where the conditions are terrible for dogs to relax, people are walking around with other dogs, lots of other dogs, and lots of barking. It takes people less than 2 minutes to get their dogs easy usually. Now, you guys don't quite know what easy is and what it looks like yet. So let me show you an example of what it's going to look like at the beginning. So this is my website, and I will put the link in the chat for you. But basically, this is a young German Shepherd, and he wants to chase his shadow. So when he gets done there, you see how he's looking at his shadow again right now. Okay. Now, we could tell him. Okay, so I'm going to tell this trainer who's learning with me that we can tell this dog that if he laid down on the ground and got easy for the count of 10, he could go for a walk. Now, this trainer is trying to learn this technique, but in his head, he believes that he needs to make this dog. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You need to actually be able to see it. Let me do that for you. It's taking my computer just a minute. While we're waiting for the computer to move over, any other questions or comments? Okay, here we are. Okay, so you can see how the shadows are pretty dramatic on the board fence panels.
Right.
Okay,
You can
now
move
we could tell
Good.
him
Oh, good.
that if he got easy,
Mm-hmm.
he could
could
take a
have-
walk around the yard.
Okay. Yeah.
If you get easy, Mark will take you for a walk. If you get easy, on the ground for the count of 10.
Can you do that? You want to get easy on the ground so we can go for a walk? Good, easy.
Good.
X,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. X.
Let's go for
We'll
a walk.
take that.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. So he didn't give up on his compulsion with chasing the shadows, but he was able to set it aside while he got easy on the ground. Now, he's not really relaxed yet, right? But he does learn to get very relaxed. Let me go and I'm going to stop share and give you a couple of links that you can click on. Save the chat. Do you guys know how to do that? You go to the top of the chat screen. Okay, so that's my YouTube channel. And if you search under easy, you'll be able to find more examples, but we also have playlists. There are so many examples there. One of the most popular videos is one of us treating a cat. The cat has to get full body x-rays without anesthesia. And that, or without sedation either. And that normally takes 16 minutes. It costs extra money. And it's a stress on the cat system. But we were able to just give the cat a few minutes of teaching, and the cat voluntarily got all of its x-rays done. So I'm finding this list. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's where it is. Okay. Okay. Here is a before video of a dog that had a problem chasing deer and other wildlife for 5 years, and they couldn't stop it. Couldn't stop the dog from doing that. You got to watch because it's really fast. It's like 13 seconds. Do you see the dog? There's the deer. There's the dog. This is a Rhodesian Ridgeback. There's a second deer, right? Wakes up, goes, what? Okay, and then I'll show you the after video. It's coming, guys. Okay, and I'm going to put a link in the chat also for the next manual. There's the intermediate bridge.
Bravo. Super. Tu.
You know what? I got the wrong video. That's not a deer.
Bravo.
The
Super.
same dog. Okay, you said. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay, it's like that also for the deer. So let me find the deer, but my computer's going around and around, so we're going to have to wait a minute. Okay, so Rasha had 3 times when she didn't have a perfect recall. This dog on her recalls was fantastic until she wasn't. She wasn't if there were game, and she wasn't if there was a thing of manure, and she wasn't if there was if they had dumped food in she's in Poland and they'll dump food in the woods. And with the intermediate bridge and name and explain, okay, did you see that deer there? Rasha just saw it. You see, Sylvia is just walking away from her. I'm checking the sound. I have the sound. Oh, no. Let me. Okay, I'm turning the sound off. Okay, you see it laying there? Did you see it? Okay, so which dog would you rather have? The one that chases the deer uncontrollably? Okay, can you see the deer laying right here? Here, I'll make it bigger. I think I'll make it bigger. The bigger I make it, the more it takes the bandwidth. Okay, now can you see the deer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the difference? Well, there's big difference in Rasha, right?
Yeah, he's a lot more relaxed, isn't he? He's still attentive, but relaxed.
That is the whole point. We're not getting rid of the animal's drive. We are redirecting it. So let me give you an interpretation. Could be totally wrong. Dog wants to get the deer. Why? On a practical basis, why do they want to get it?
To kill and eat it.
Yeah, they want to eat it. So they care about you. They want you to have stuff to eat. I'm not quite sure how to describe this, but what Sylvia did in this case, and we've had it happen again and again and again, where the animals quit chasing other animals just with the tools I've been telling you about. Well, this dog thought Sylvia needed to eat, maybe. And she's going to go catch her a deer. And she's probably getting frustrated that Sylvia's so dumb that she doesn't do anything to get the deer with her. And then finally, Sylvia just told her, when we see a deer, we're going to be easy. Remember, I said it's important to say it at the beginning. Okay, so here we go. This dog has been chasing deer and other animals for 5 years. Okay. I have a ton of video like that. I'm going to put the link to the next manual in the chat here. And remember, you can save the chat by going up to the three dots on the top and click on it, and it'll give you an option to save the chat. Okay, so what does it take to actually learn how to do this? All the things I told you about, you can just apply them immediately. I'm going to tell you, I just gave you the most valuable parts of what I teach trainers. Because when the trainers finish their certification training, I interview them and ask them what did they feel was the most bang for their buck. And they always say name and explain. Name and explain. All you have to do is remember to explain things before you get into the situation. Sylvia didn't see the deer and then say, oh, remember, we're going to be easy. She told Rasha before they even went. Now, there's no reason not to remind Rasha, but she didn't. Instead, she just uses the intermediate bridge to confirm that Rasha's doing the right thing. If you tell your dog, you're going to keep your feet on the ground, these are your feet, this is the ground, we call this plant. That's what I call that behavior. You're going to meet somebody, I need you to stay plant. And keep your feet on the ground. If the dog keeps her feet on the ground, she can't jump up, right? Now all you have to do is increase the amount of time that that dog is able to stay plant. Remember, I told you that I became a better dog trainer when I took my hands off the animal? Do you see that with Rasha with the deer? Nobody. She does have a big long leash on, but she's just dragging it. Sylvia's walking away from her. She couldn't even step on it if she wanted to. We cannot control anybody but ourselves. And only the dog can control itself. So the better leader you learn to be, the better performer your dog will be, the better your dog will be with you and for you. But you have to be able to explain to the dog what you need her to do or what you need him to do. They can't do great things if they have no idea what you want them to do. Gabriel, can you think of something that you want to do with your dog right away using these tools? Before you got here, everybody said something they wanted their dog to change with. Is there something you want your dog to learn or to stop doing?
The jumping, the nipping, the whining, and the pulling on the lead.
Okay, so let's just take whining. When the dog is being quiet, tell them, you are quiet. This is a good, quiet dog. When the dog is whining, say, that's a good whine. Not you're a bad dog. That is, you're a good whining dog. When the dog is quiet, you're a good, quiet dog. They're both just being a dog. A dog has a license to be a dog. But then you can say, could you be quiet right now? And then what are you going to do to help the dog expand the amount of time it can be quiet? Is this making sense to you? Athena, what could you do?
Use the easy command.
Can you be quiet? That's quiet. Good, 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 good. And get that good in there right away when you first start, right? Because just one instant of quiet the first time. And then ask the dog, could you be quiet for 2? 1, 2. I'm telling them right then how long that is. Could you be quiet for 2? The dog's going, what's a 2? 1, 2. Oh, I can do that. Quiet, 1, 2, X. Okay. So you use the intermediate bridge. And then what's the next one going to be? Can you be quiet for? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, X. Can you be quiet for 8? Now, if you start to really go deeper into this, there's lots of other things that can make this easier. For example, it gets hard to count past 4 and pay attention to what the dog's doing, okay? We have things that we do to get around that. But this is all you need to do. And then the body work lets the dog study how to get herself or himself relaxed. If you tell the dog settle down and you don't define it for them, how are they supposed to do it? But if you go in there and get them relaxed, they'll be able to study that process. With the dog that, okay, if you get easy for the count of 10, you can go for a walk. I've got videos and they're on my website. I think you can find them. Like look under Rocky. Just look under Rocky and there might be one like Rocky being easy or Rocky being easy with my hand in the food bowl. Believe me, Rocky's a land shark. And if you put your hand in the food bowl with his food, initially, you are going to have like serrated hands. But he learned to just be absolutely easy. And there's a video where Rocky gets himself relaxed, and then I ask him to get alert, and then I ask him to get easy again, and then alert, easy, alert. Why would I want to teach him to go between the two states? What does that show me? If he can do both states on cue.
That he's learned the command.
He's understood the command.
Exactly. Exactly. I can't hold him responsible until I know that he understands and can do it. Like a dog could be easy, but not necessarily know how to get himself easy. So we're going to work until he can go back and forth, back and forth. Okay, guys, that's a lot. And our only call to action tonight is I'm recommending that you get Sats in the Family Dog if you want to keep going with this. I am working on a more intensive class, but this is a big experiment for me because I normally train professional trainers. Excuse me. It's very easy for me to get too intense for people with new puppies. Did we hit a good medium for you guys tonight?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Any confusion, or do you feel like you follow everything?
Is this most of the content that you're talking about in the ebook that we got?
In the Talk to Me book,
Yes.
it talks about all the different ways that you communicate that you may not be aware of. For example, when I said have integrity, whatever you say to the dog must be true. Don't ever trick a dog. But if you say, oh, get easy, it's okay. Can you guarantee that anything is okay?
No.
No, so don't say it. Never say that. Say, we're going to try to get through this together. I've got your back. That's what you say. You don't say it's going to be okay. Because if you're frightened, even about your dog being reactive toward another dog, the neuropeptides associated with stress come right through your skin and out of your lungs. It's literally considered contagious. Have you guys ever noticed that when your dog is panting, you will have increasing problems to breathe? Like if you're driving somewhere in the car, yeah, you've noticed that thing? You're not making things up. This stuff is literally toxic proteins. They're very large proteins. It can cause an animal to die. Remember I said zoo animals can die on the spot if they get too stressed? When your dog is panting, that is a bad habit. Panting is okay when he's trying to cool down, but a lot of dogs, especially the kind that you guys have now, they'll get in the car and they want to ramp up the dopamine. They're very motivated to increase dopamine. And maybe that's what I should have told you right at the beginning. These are tools to help you help your dog win the fight against dopamine. You know what happens to the dog if you let him get all dopaminized all the time?
They get more energetic.
They what?
They get more energetic. And they want more the dopamine hit.
Yeah, and it's literally, it will kill their brain cells. Literally. How many of you guys are going to go on to some kind of sport? Anybody here going to do Schutzen or something like that? Detection?
I'm thinking about doing the obedience trials.
Okay, good. All right. With the kind of training that I'm introducing to you here, you can just mop up the floor in obedience because you can explain every little nuance. I had a client that was a judge for obedience, and she's calling her dog into her, and about 5 feet before the dog gets to her, the dog's running off the path. Well, this isn't the best example because it turns out the owner, rather than telling the dog what she was going to do, she just kept throwing the toy over there and she changed the dog's behavior. And she didn't even realize it consciously. But this one is a better example. Her dog was coming in for a sit and sitting on her feet. And that was taking points off. And I said, did you ever show her the difference between sitting on your feet and being off your feet? And this one right here can save you guys, every one of you, a lot of wear and tear. So you take something like a wooden spoon, right? So I got a little chopstick here. I put it in front of my dog and the dog starts to put the teeth on. I go, that's your teeth on. Teeth off. And I take it out of there. That's your teeth off. Good. Okay. Now, can you keep your teeth off for 2? 1, 2. Good job. Can you keep your teeth off for 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. That's really good. So it takes just a matter of seconds to teach the concept of off versus on. So I show this little Irish setter. These are feet. You're sitting on my feet. Can you sit off my feet? And I moved my own feet. And then I said to her, can you come sit off my feet? And she looked at me and she came in and she sat down exactly correctly. That was the only time I ever saw that mistake because she never made it again. She just didn't know. Like her owner was saying, I want you to get as close as you can. And she goes, oh, really? Because I can sit right on your feet. Well, not that close, but she didn't actually tell the dog the limits of the behavior. Okay, so off versus on, you want to teach them both together. And remember that it's not a bad dog when she's got her teeth on, it's just a dog with teeth on. And right now we want a dog with teeth off. Or we want a dog that's sitting off your feet instead of on your feet. Anything else? Larissa, anything for you?
No, I don't think so.
The only thing I've got is emotion. I think that's a real key when you're walking your dog, because sometimes I get a bit stressed. You see things happen, and I think you've really got to control that emotion, because otherwise they pick up on it.
Yourself. You've got to control yourself.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right on. And that takes a lot of trainers an entire career to figure that out. So trainers contact me all the time and say, I had to use the easy on myself today. I'm going to tell you, this is not what we were going to cover today, but I'm going to tell you that your calmness goes right through the air, just like your fear does. When you learn to vibrate at the right frequency, it's going to change your life with animals. When I go outside here, we have a couple of acres. If I need a frog to move, like I'm going to turn the water on and it's on top of the water spigot, I have to pick the frog up and move it, because the frog will not move. The frogs, when I'm sitting in my pool, will come jump on me and sit on me. The lizards will come and get up on my arms. We have a bunch of wrens here. My assistant was outside and the wren came and sat on her foot for a full minute. We're all in silence, right? Watching this wren. What explains that? They're like that with each other. You go out to a field and you'll see birds sitting on cows, but doesn't normally happen with us humans. When we learn to manage our own energy, the animals are not afraid of us. In the summertime, Dave will go out, and the Dave's my husband, and the snakes will come out and ask for water. So right now we're not doing events here. We're working on building a new house, but at some point we might. And if we do that, maybe we'll offer an event here if you guys want to come and meet our frogs and snakes and everything else, because they're not any different than yours. Well, you guys have a lot more venomous snakes than we do. So I don't blame you for not trying to get a water sharing relationship going. Let me tell you one thing about snakes. When I was in Australia, somebody asked me, what do you do if a snake gets into your sleeping bag? Go back to sleep. Are you going to get out of that sleeping bag without the snake knowing? Go back to sleep. They get in there because they want to be warm. They room up with other snakes. They room up with tortoises. Now they're rooming up with you. They're not going to think that they're not thinking they're going to eat you. Go back to sleep. I know that's counterintuitive, and I've got other snake stories and things like that to share also if we get more time together ever. Okay, so name and explain, intermediate bridges, body work. And the goal is to teach your dog your language so that you can explain what you need them to do. Yesterday, Dave was taking the horses out to the field, and I heard him tell my horse, who knows well over 500 words and concepts, Sarah, we're going to go graze over by the goats. And Sarah immediately started trotting across the field. I love that. Sarah is a cocky, cheeky little rascal. And she wants Dave to know that she knows exactly what he's saying. Don't repeat it. So the minute he tells her, she goes and does it. Watch your animals. They'll show you the signs. Okay. Anything else?
I had a question, Kayce, with explaining to the dog or asking the dog to do something or to not do something. Like, for example, with the wooden spoon, I showed the dog the wooden spoon. This is teeth on, this is teeth off. Can you leave your teeth off for 2 seconds? Good. Can you leave your teeth off for 4 seconds? and the dog grabs it, what do I do? Do I start all over again?
Kind of, yes. You say that was teeth on. You don't even have to say no or anything. I mean, you can if your timing is fast enough, you go teeth off. Okay, but if you're not fast enough and they get their teeth on, that's teeth on. Back off. Do you have any fear the dog's going to keep hold of you? Just nipping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So teeth off and then, put them back in their crate or whatever. And when they calm down, give them a minute to calm down once they do something like that, because that was an actual failure. Because they didn't just not go for 2 seconds, they also nailed you. And I don't know about you guys. Look, I still have just a few artifacts from my dog. Yeah, I looked like, I don't know, I was perforated by my puppy. And now I can go out in public again with my arms bare. But you got to develop your timing to be really effective. So here's what a conversation often sounds like with me. Okay, good dog. You're going to be teeth off for the count of 2. 1, 2. You ready? Good, good. Nice job. And you see how I step out of there? So they can't make a mistake after they just had a success. Okay, now we're going to go for 4. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Outstanding. What a great dog. Let's do a walk. We'll do a victory lap. Okay, when we get back, we're going to do 8. Are you ready for 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You ready? Good, 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 good. Woo! So I use sound to keep them moving to the next idea. And if they start to do the wrong thing, good, 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 good. So I can just do an and a good in close succession and clean that up. Ryan, are you going to do some training?
Yes.
Okay. I have a class I'm making right now that I used to teach all the time. And I quit because people need to do the perception modification first. What I've been teaching you tonight is part of perception modification. Bridge and target for your obedience, for detection, for protection sports, for anything task related. Amazing. For example, I was down at a zoo in Australia and I had to teach, I think it was in Adelaide, gorillas and orangutans. And I wanted to teach them about plastic versus metal forks and spoons. So here's spoons, here's forks. Can you show me the spoons? Can you show me the forks? They did. These are plastic, whether they're spoons or forks. These are metal, whether they're spoons or forks. Good. Can you show me the metal? Can you show me the plastic? Can you show me a spoon that is metal? Can you show me a fork that is plastic? This is how fast it goes. This is the literal training conversation. You can go, I'll put it in the chat. Okay, so just save the chat again. Sinalia.com/press. And you scroll down and there's video of me training a rhino, a wolf, a crab, my horse telling, you got to really watch the horse video because people don't watch them. And it's like, what's wrong with you guys? Here's a horse telling me whether something is a food or a tool. And then in the next little video, the horse is telling me, I tell her, if it's a food, it goes in the red bucket. If it's a tool, it goes in the white bucket. Which bucket does this go in, red or white? And she tells me if it's a food, it goes in as a tool. I mean, does that not blow your mind? Look at my horse choosing apple slices. How do you prefer your apples? You're going to find out exactly how my horse likes her apples. And you're going to know because she's going to make it absolutely clear. when we do this two-way communication, which is like the third level of training, the animal, you say, is it food or tool? It's food or it's tool. A horse doesn't have good vision for detail, so it'll come in the middle and slide out. So it's a binary toggle. You don't have to speak horse. You don't have to have a computer. You can teach your dogs right now. You got to think of, well, I don't want to get you guys too far down the road. But this is amazing stuff. When I taught backwards flips, it took me 2.5 weeks. My competitors, it took them over 6 months and they still didn't have it done. The stuff is really efficient. You're going to love it. Okay. I think we're done. I don't want to take you guys too long here. Any last questions? Are you overwhelmed? Are you ready? Are you like energized? You can do it? Try it?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you report back?
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to tell you one last thing. The reason this was supposed to be a lot more expensive, but the reason it was this price is I didn't know how to make a new sales page. So the only thing I could do is charge you for the manual. So I'm going to offer it again for the rest of the people that didn't make it tonight. And it's going to be $47 for them. And they don't get the manual. So yay you for getting on it. And if we do this same one, if I do this same one again, I will find a way. If you want to come again, you can, and you don't have to pay again. So, okay, guys, power on.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thanks.
headed on a great adventure. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been really a pleasure. All
Yeah,
right,
thank you.
guys. Good night.
All right.